Hi everyone, welcome to week 5 of Yoga with Amy. There's nothing more exciting in lockdown times than changing around the furniture. So hopefully the lighting's a bit better in here because I've got the window here and blah, blah, blah. And there's nothing more exciting than wearing bright coloured leggings for yoga as well. So I'm very excited about that today. You can tell that I've been doing a lot in the lockdown. Anyway, I hope you're all okay. It's really lovely to see you back here again. And today we're going to be working on our shoulders. I'm a little bit high for this. Let me just put this up. Yeah, so today we're going to be looking at our shoulders. We're going to just be loosening the shoulders. We're going to be strengthening the shoulders and just getting to know the shoulders a bit better because they're so important in yoga. We often focus on the hamstrings, the legs, and everything else. But yeah, the shoulders are really important. And the fact that maybe a lot of us have been working from home at our desks and we know what we do at our desks all day. It's probably something like this. So we'll hopefully feel really amazing and refreshed after this. And also just to mention that for this, I mean, you've heard this lots of times now, but for this 10 weeks of happiness course that I'm doing, I'm asking for a suggested payment of £5 per class to anybody who can afford it. I know that's not everybody because we're all going through various different things. And half of every single payment will be going to our local hospice here in Chesterfield. So that's just to help those wonderful nurses and staff keep caring for patients there. So thank you, huge thank you to everyone who has been donating, who's been doing the suggested payment. And then that means I can make a nice big donation at the end of this, which I'm really pleased about. So let's get cracking, shall we? We are going to be starting down on the mat, but I'll let you know what we need first. So if you have been suffering from bad knees and you can't kneel down, there will be a moment in our practice where you'll need a chair. Another thing, you might need the chair if you don't have a wall available. So if you've got a lovely big wall like this, then you'll be fine. But we are going to be doing some stuff where we've got our hands either on the wall or on the chair. So we might be needing this as well. So grab yourself a chair if you don't already have one. And we also need a strap or a tie or something. And we also need a blanket to pad our knees as well. So let's get going. We're going to start lying down. And I'll just explain this while I'm not lying down, just so that you know. We are working on the shoulders, but crucially, I want to sort of tell you a bit about what's going on beneath the shoulders. So we've got our lungs here, and they go all the way up to just underneath the collarbones there. So if you take your fingers, and you can do this lying down, take your fingers to just below your collarbones here. And then as you lie down, I want you to breathe and send the breath all the way up into the top of the lungs, so where our hands are sitting here. See if you can feel the fingers rising with the breath. So if you inhale, and you can see, if you look at the video, you can see that when I inhale, my fingertips are lifting here as they sit at the top of the lungs. So I'm trying to bring air all the way up into the top of the lungs. And then as you're lying down, you should be able to feel this as like a 360 movement. So you've got the air coming in at the front, and then you've got the air expanding the lungs at the back as well. So we'll do that for a few more moments, lying down. So come into a comfortable position, and remember that Shavasana is yours, so you can do it in whatever way you please. So lying down on your back might be an option, or having your feet on the mat and your knees tented might be a better option. So we're going to keep our hands here at the top of the lungs. We're going to close the eyes if that feels okay. And we're going to start to draw our attention to the way the breath feels at the very top of the lungs. So how does the breath feel as it rises and expands the lungs in a 360 dimension all the way to that very top of the lungs where our fingertips are sitting, just underneath the collarbones. And how does it feel as the lungs expand and move the muscles in the back of the body? Can you feel that expansion moving maybe the shoulder blades or some of those back muscles as you send the breath into the top and back of the lungs? If you can only feel a very small movement here, then please don't worry, because it does take a long time to get used to our breath and to really direct it in a certain way. So if you can just feel a very small movement, that's absolutely fine. Just go with that. And with every exhale, just see if you can start to let go of anything that has happened so far in your day. So anything that might be niggling you or causing you to be a little bit tense here, just see if you can exhale and let go. Bringing yourself fully into this moment. And bringing your whole awareness to this sensation of the breath rising up into the top of the lungs with every inhalation. And then with every exhale, just see if you can relax the muscles. Continue to draw your attention to the breath, but just allow the body to relax. Enjoy this moment. This is some time, this is 1 hour that you're taking for yourself, away from everything else. So really enjoy this moment. And then if you wish, you can keep the eyes closed here, but we're just going to exhale and bring the hands down onto the mat. See if you can wiggle your shoulders now to get them really nice and comfy. So see if you can allow the shoulders to fully relax down into the mat. And from here, we're going to start to turn the head to look to the right, and then we're going to look to the left. So continue to breathe in and out. And we're just gently warming up the neck, but we're trying to keep the shoulders really nice and relaxed here. So notice if as you start to move, your shoulders have hunched right up to your ears. So just see if you can keep the shoulders down and relaxed, taking the neck from one side to the other. And then come back to center, maybe look up, and then bring the chin down towards the chest, and then find a good position halfway between where your chin is parallel to the mat. And then we're going to do some work to bring the shoulders into this. So I've still got the soles of my feet on the mat. You can bring your feet to the mat, or you can have your legs out long. That's completely up to you. And what we're going to do now is we're going to press the palms of the hands down into the mat. So we've got palms of the hands face down. And then from here, we're going to inhale. We're going to open up the palms of the hands so they're facing the sky. And as we do that, we're going to try and squeeze the shoulder blades down the back. Might feel a bit strange. We're kind of puffing up the chest a little bit here. And then exhale. We're going to bring the palms of the hands to face down. And we're just going to allow the shoulder blades to relax and kind of round forwards a bit here. So inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades down the back. Bring the chest up. Exhale, fold the hands down and allow the shoulder blades to move forward again. So I'll just show you, if my hair hasn't gone too crazy, what that should look like. So as you're lying down, we're opening up the palms of the hands to face the sky, and you can see the shoulder blades squeezing down the back, and the chest is slightly lifted here. So it's a little bit of a back bend in the thoracic spine here. So we're lifting up the chest, squeezing the shoulder blades down the back. Exhale, we bring the palms of the hands to face down. I don't know what my hair is doing here, but there we go. And then we're allowing the shoulder blades to come to a relaxed position, maybe even round forwards a little bit here. So we've got space in between the shoulder blades. And then inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades down the back. So we've lost that space. We're squeezing together here. And then exhale, relax. Very good. Do that a couple more times. See if you can really feel that squeeze. So we've started to gain an awareness of what our shoulders are doing now in this movement. And then when you've finished your last palms down movement, we're going to come to a big T shape. So if it's comfy to have your legs out long, then have them long. If you prefer to bend your knees and have your feet on the mat, then do that. We're going to bring our arms up this big T shape now. You can have the palms of the hands face down or face up, doesn't really matter. And then we're going to inhale and then exhale, bring the left leg in towards the chest. Inhale, open up. So actually, I quite like having the palms of the hands to the sky here. So exhale, bring the right knee in. Inhale, open up. Exhale, bring the left knee in. Inhale, open up. Exhale, bring the right knee in. Inhale, open up. And this time we're going to curl our shoulders forwards as we bring the left knee up. So we're coming into this rounded position, creating space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, relax the shoulders, open up. Exhale, we bring the right knee forward. Inhale, open up. And we'll just do that one more time. So we're rounding the shoulders forward as we bring the knee towards the chest or towards the nose. Inhale, we bring the shoulders up to the knee towards the shoulders. Exhale down, and just for good luck, we'll bring both legs in now. Be careful if you've got a bad back, you might want to go more slowly with this, one and then the other. Bring the knees in towards the chest, and then we can treat ourselves to a little rock and roll here. Woohoo! Little back massage. Oh, that feels really nice after a whole day at my desk. We should have regular rollings around in the office, I reckon, when we get back to work. So then we're going to bring the soles of our feet down to the mat. Just going to check what we're doing. Oh yes, and then we're going to have a really nice full body stretch. So bring the arms up and overhead, stretch the legs out long, bring the toes up to point towards the sky. Send the breath again all the way up to the very top of the lungs here. And then exhale, bring the arms down and come to relax here. Oh, grab my little sheet. And then finally, on the floor, we're going to bring our feet into the air, our hands into the air. And this is the best little movement for getting rid of any bad energy or anything that we don't want to think about today. We're going to shake off, shake, shake, shake. And use this as a way to relax the tension in the muscles. Get all of that tension gone. And we can start afresh. So from here, we're going to roll onto our sides, and then we're going to gently press up and come onto all fours. And then from here, my hair has gone a bit loopy. We're going to push all the way back into a child's pose or extended child's pose. You can have the knees out wide, you can have the knees closer together, and bring the hips down towards the heels. If that doesn't feel good for your knees or hips, keep everything in a 90-degree angle and send the arms forward into puppy pose. So you've always got the option of coming into that puppy pose if you can't come back into your child's pose. So, sort the hair. So we're sending the arms forward. We're coming into child's pose. And we're going to relax the arms to start with. And we're just going to breathe into the lungs and into the back of the body. And we're going to try and feel that space between the shoulder blades as our arms are nice and relaxed here, and we allow the shoulder blades to round forwards. Inhale, exhale. You can close the eyes if it feels nice here. We're just going to take 2 more deep breaths into the back of the body. Remember, we're allowing the shoulder blades to round down and forwards, keeping the arms relaxed. One more breath, inhale. And then we're going to tent the fingers so we kind of look like little spider hands. And then from here, we're going to engage the shoulders, bring the shoulder blades down the back. So instead of allowing the shoulder blades to round forwards and come up towards our ears, we're going to try and create space in the neck and around the ears. We're going to bring the shoulder blades down the back, squeeze them together. We can bring the forehead down towards the mat, but we're just trying to activate the shoulder blades here. And this is the kind of space around the neck that we'll want to create in our down dog. And then exhale, relax the hands again, bring the shoulder blades forward and see if you can notice that difference where there's now some space between the shoulder blades because the shoulder blades are running forwards. And then tent the hands again, squeeze the shoulder blades down the back, create that space in the neck. Take a few breaths here. See if you can feel now that the shoulder blades have moved down and towards each other. And then exhale, come to relax the shoulders, and we're just going to slowly walk up. And this is the point where if you do have bad knees and you can't kneel down, then you might just want to sit onto a chair or on the sofa just for this next little bit. And then from here, we're going to inhale, take the hands up towards the sky. Let's do a small back bend here, which means that we again squeeze. I'm going to say squeeze the shoulders about 1,000,000 times in this. So we're going to inhale, take the arms up in the air, squeeze the shoulders behind, squeeze the shoulders back and down, and then we're going to lift the chest up. And then exhale, we're going to keep our arms in the air, and we're going to do this little brain training thing. So we're going to take the left hand forward, the right hand back. We're just going to start to move the arms in circles like this. If this is completely flabbergasting you, then either keep trying or you can just take your arms forward. So have a go. I'm taking the left arm forward, the right arm back, and then they kind of move in this little pendulum swingy kind of way. We're just getting some movement into the shoulders now. And pause when you get to the top again. Then we're going to take the right arm forward, the left arm back. Which one are you better at? Because this one feels really weird for me. So we're just going to get that rotation. Again, if this is completely like, well, then just take your arms back. So at least we've moved in both directions. That's all I'm really getting at. But sometimes it's nice to do stuff that tests the brain as well. And we're going to do that with some inhalations and exhalations, obviously. And then we're just going to come to relax. So maybe shake out the shoulders, do a little dance, and then relax here. And from here, we're going to interlace the fingers behind the back. So remember, we can be doing this on a chair. We can be doing all of this on a chair if that's best for you. Interlace the fingers behind the back. And that's a really nice way to, again, almost tell the shoulder blades to move down. Create that space around the neck and bring the chest up so that we're in a little bit of a back bend. Inhale here, and then exhale, we're going to hug a beach ball. So we're going to move the pelvis back so that this is where that rounding of the spine starts all the way down here with the tailbone. And then we're going to hug our beach ball. And then we're going to come again to that interlaced fingers thing. Bring the shoulder blades down the back, the chest up, and then exhale, curl from the tailbone. We're going to hug our beach ball or hug a friend who you've not managed to hug in a long time. And then inhale, open up, come into that back bend. Squeeze the shoulder blades down the back. And then exhale, curl from the tailbone, hug that beach ball. And here you should feel lots of space created in the back because the shoulder blades have moved forwards. Breathe into that space in the center of the back. Sorry, I'm just seeing what you've put there. Oh. Anyway, so that's good, thank you. We're going to inhale, open up, squeeze the shoulder blades behind the back, and then exhale. I'm going to hug that beach ball and then come to relax here. We're going to bring ourselves into a really solid tabletop, which I pretty much throw tabletop into everything that I do. So if you've done these classes before, you'll know how to form a nice strong tabletop. So you want the hands underneath the shoulders, the knees underneath the hips, 90-degree angles with the legs. And we want, like I said, our shoulders directly above the wrists here. And we don't want to be floppy in our tabletop like this. We don't want to be rounding up. We want to find somewhere in the middle where we've got a little bit of engagement in the belly. And press into the hands so that we don't sink down into the shoulders. You can see that difference there. When I press into the hands, I push up through the shoulders, and that's the position we want to be in. I like doing these little bits and bobs where I show you. So in tabletop, if we let the shoulders sink down, you can really see that the middle of my back just collapses there into the shoulders. If I press into the hands, you can see that that gives me a lot more strength in the shoulders. I'm not dipping down into the center of the upper back there, like this. Oh, I'm like a mime artist. Right. Okay, so that's our strong tabletop. Boring, boring, let's carry on. Then we're going to inhale, come into a little cat-cow. So just as we did when we were doing the beach ball movement, we're going to exhale and round. Press into the fingers, really, really engage the shoulders to create that space. So bring the shoulder blades forward, push into the space in the center of the top of the back. Inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Use the hands here, press into the hands, lift the chest up. Exhale, create that space between the shoulders. Enjoy the juicy stretch. Your back, your shoulders, your body is saying thank you. Exhale, press into the hands. Really have a solid press down into all 10 fingers. So really have that solid foundation there. Inhale. So you can do cat-cow in a million different ways, I find. And then we're going to come back to center after our last little cat. Take the left hand into the center of where your left and right hand is. And then inhale, bring the right hand up. And then we're going to exhale and thread the needle here. So sometimes if you've not done thread the needle, it can be a bit confusing. So we're going to take the right hand, we're going to take it underneath the left arm, and we're going to bring our right shoulder down towards the ground. Don't worry if it doesn't reach there. So this is what it might look like. I realize I'm now facing away from here, so I'll come around here. So it might look like this, where you've got your shoulder all the way down. It might look like this, where you're just working towards bringing that right hand further away from the body and just starting to bring the shoulder blade towards the ground. If you can get your right shoulder blade on the ground, then see if you can use the left hand and the right shoulder blade against each other to really start to create that space between the shoulder blades. Inhale, come back to center, have a little wiggle here. I'm going to do it on the other side. So we're going to bring the right hand to the center of the mat. Inhale, open up the left side. And then exhale, we're going to thread the left hand in behind the right hand. You can bring the left shoulder to the mat and the left side of the head to the mat, or you might be more like here, which is totally fine. And if you can get the left shoulder down, use the resistance of your right hand on the mat and that left shoulder on the mat to just push into the left shoulder and feel that nice, juicy stretch, that little massage for your shoulder blade. Press into the mat with your right hand and come back up to center. And then from here, we've done quite a lot on our hands and knees and everything with our cat-cows and figuring out the tabletop. So we're just going to circle our wrists. If you're not comfy here, you can sit up or go back to your chair for a moment. Circle, 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 one way and then the other. Some comments coming up here. Can everybody see and hear me all right? Did I lose Wi-Fi for a bit or is it all good? Cool, I'm getting a thumbs up, so that's nice. And so from here, whether we're on a chair or kneeling down, we're just going to take a little bit of a side stretch. So we're going to inhale, taking the right hand onto the mat, lifting the left hand all the way up, breathing into that left side of the body. If you're on a chair, you can just hold onto your hip or onto the side of the chair. And here I want you to really think about lifting up through the left shoulder here. So open up, maybe even look towards that left arm, but really try and breathe into the left side of the body. And then exhale down. We're going to inhale, bring the right hand up, left hand down. And then because we tend to kind of come into this sort of position, I want you to really lift and open up through the right shoulder, looking up towards the right arm. Take a few more deep, juicy breaths here into the right side of the body. Inhale, come up, and then give your shoulders a good old shake because we've done some mean things to them right now, but it should feel much better after. And then this is the bit where you will need either a wall or a chair. I'm going to use a chair just to show you, partly so that I don't just stick my butt in your face as well. So we can have hands on a chair, or if you prefer, have your hands flat on a wall. Can you see that there? So, oh, there we go, like that. So have two hands on a wall, and we can do that here. Or grab a chair, or have your hands on the top of a table. And we're just going to come into a half downward dog. So we're going to start up near the chair. Thank you, cameraman. And we're going to make sure that we feel nice and tall here, because we want this kind of feeling from the feet all the way to the crown of the head. And then we want to feel like the body is lifting all the way up, so that resistance of the feet on the mat is allowing the whole body to lift all the way up through the crown of the head. So feel nice and tall here in your Tadasana. We're going to take our hands onto the wall or the chair, and we're going to start to step back into our half downward dog. Keep the knees really nice and bent here. And then I quite like to have my fingertips pointing out so that it's just the palms of my hands on the top of the chair. Or if you're on a wall, your hands will look like this. Either way, that's fine. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to have a play around with the knees very, very bent here. We're going to have a play around it, trying to squeeze the shoulder blades down the back as we press into the fingers and the palms of the hands. And we're going to try and strengthen the arms here. So feel like your arms are doing a lot of work by pressing down, squeezing the shoulder blades down the back. And I want you to feel like the inside of the palm of the hand, which is where it gets a little bit technical. So this part of the hand kind of feels like it's pressing down, and then your bicep feels like it's opening that way. So we've kind of got this spiral rotation going on. So kind of like this, and then kind of like this. So that might sound really confusing, but just trust me. So we're here, we're pressing down through our thumbs and first fingers, and we're trying to rotate the biceps out. Really create space around the neck, around the ears by bringing the shoulder blades down the back. And then once we've established that really beautiful long line from the crown of the head all the way to the tailbone here, we can then start to press into the feet to try and lift the sit bones up. So you may work towards those straight legs. You may still have bent knees here, and that might be enough of a stretch for your hamstrings. Inhale and smile. Try not to lose that strength that we've gained in the shoulders. Continue to rotate the biceps open as you bring the shoulder blades down the back. And we've got that double stretch now. We've got it going on in the hamstrings too, so this should feel like really hard work. And then inhale, relax the arms, relax the legs, bend the knees. And we're going to just slowly come back up to standing and just give yourself a bit of a shake out. So we're going to do a little bit of a sequence now to just bring all of that into a sequence. So from the top of the mat, I'll stand here so you can see me better. We're going to have the feet hip width apart. Again, feel like you're rooting down and rising up through the whole of the body. Inhale, take the arms up. Use this as a place to practice bringing the shoulder blades down and expanding through the chest. Bring the breath into the top of the lungs. And then exhale, we're going to fold forward. So we did this on one of our recent videos where we're learning about forward fold. Exhale, we're going to try and bring the chest to the legs by bending the knees generously, bringing the hands down. And then we're going to inhale, press into the hands, take the hands onto the thighs here. And we're going to try and establish that long half lift. So we're going to try and be really nice and long from our tailbone, that's not our tailbone to the crown of the head here. And when we've got that, we can start to work into the hamstrings, but make sure that you come into that lovely L shape. If you want to grab your chair here just to help you out, then that's fine. And then we're going to exhale, bend the knees, and then inhale, come all the way up. Exhale, bring the palms of the hands to the heart center. We'll just have another little go. Cool, right, so everyone's all right. We can hear me, that's good. Thank you for all your comments. So from here, we're just going to do that again. I'm going to go a little bit faster. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, we're going to fold forward. You can have the hands here, here, wherever. And we're going to bring the chest onto the thighs. Start to press into the hamstrings as long as you can keep that connection there. Then inhale, we're going to lift up, half lift. So you might want your hands on the top of the thighs here for support. Become really nice and long through the spine. Bring the shoulder blades down the back. Sorry that I've said that a million times. And then from here, we can start to work into the hamstrings as well. So straightening the legs if that feels okay. If you can remain in this lovely L shape. Inhale and exhale. Bend the knees. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, bring the hands down. Very nice, guys. So I'm going to just bring in the chair again. So either go back to your wall or grab your chair again. And then I'll just show you something else we're going to do and make sure I've got enough space to show you. As I said, when we've had a chair before, it's always the best practice to put it on your mat so it doesn't go anywhere. We're going to walk the feet back into our strong half downward dog here. So we've got the hands pressing down onto the chair. We've got the first finger and thumb rotating down. We've got the biceps rotating out. And we're squeezing the shoulder blades down the back. And we're really focusing on that upper body lift now. From here, we're going to take the weight onto our left leg. And I'm just going to hold onto the chair properly now, because we're going to move up into a balance. We're going to move into our warrior 3, but we're going to do it from this half dog pose. So I want you to take the weight into your left leg. Keep the upper body where it is, nice and strong. Am I going to kick something here? No, I fit perfectly in this room at this size. So there we go. We're going to inhale, lift the heel up, and it's easier for me because I can see myself, but try and get that long line where your upper body and your right leg is now parallel to the ground. Don't let your chair fall over. So we're going to keep working the shoulder blades down the back here. Keep expanding out across the whole of the spine. And then exhale, bring that leg down. We're going to walk the feet forward and we'll just come to rest for a few moments in our Tadasana pose. We might want to walk the legs up. I could definitely feel that in my left leg, the standing leg. So see if you can feel that too. Good, just checking our time. Take your hands onto the chair again. We're going to walk back, back, back. Come into that super strong half dog here. So we're pressing down with the hands and the fingers, and we're opening the biceps out to the outer edges of the mat. And then once we've established that, we can start to take the weight into the right leg now and start to sweep the left leg all the way back so that we come into this strong warrior 3 position. I've now taken a firmer grip on my chair here than I did in my dog pose. So what we want to do is create that nice long line. So a vertical parallel to the ground, that's the word. And we want to have the toes pointing down. So make sure that your hips aren't opening out to the side here. You've got hips pointing down. Don't let your chair fall over. Don't let your leg fall over. Smile. And then bring that left leg down. Again, we'll come back, do a little walkie walk in our Tadasana pose. Have a shake out. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to challenge you to releasing yourself from the chair or the wall, but just very, very slowly as we go into this. So we'll come back through our half dog. We'll just spend a moment here. So the most important thing is just making sure the shoulder blades are down the back. When we've got that sorted, we'll bring the weight into our left leg, start to sweep the right leg up, ensuring that the right toes are still pointing down. And we've got a really strong connection with the left foot and the mat, so you feel like you're really lifting through that left leg. But again, don't forget about the right leg. You've got the right toes pointing down towards the mat, the 2 bony hip points pointing down, and we've got this really strong warrior 3. So can we take one hand off? Can we take 2 hands off? Can we bring the hands to the hips or out in some kind of bird pose? Maybe you can do that for longer than I can. Continue to inhale, send that breath up and down the line of the spine. Exhale, bring the right leg down, and then middle walkie to the top of the mat. And then have a good shake out. Wiggle the body, do some weird things with your cool leggings. And then I'm gonna go again. But Amy needs some water, so take a water break. It's hard work when you're doing these poses properly. So we're going to take our hands onto the chair, walk ourselves back into our half dog, establish that really great shoulder movement where we're rotating the shoulder blades down the back. Bring the weight into the right foot now, establish that strong foundation on the right leg. So we've got the right foot pointing, pressing down, and we've got that lift up through the right leg. Start to sweep the left leg back. And then when we've got this really strong position in our warrior 3 with that strong standing leg and with the left toes pointing down and both of the hips pointing down towards the mat, see if that's enough to allow your hands to come off the chair or off your wall. Oh, I'm not so good on this leg. Smile. Don't worry. I think I'm just talking to myself when I say don't worry, but there we go. And then we're going to bring the left leg down, start to walk towards the front of the mat. Give yourself a pat on the back. Well done, guys. And now we're going to come into a little bit of a sun salutation. I'm just going to check how we're doing that. Very good. Okay. So from the top of the mat now, I'm going to inhale, bring the hands all the way up. Exhale, come into your forward fold, bent knees, hands come towards the ground. Step back with the right leg, allow the right knee to come down. You can pad your knees here if you want. And in fact, I am going to do that because we're going to come down on both knees soon. So it's always good to protect your knees. So we were here, bring the right leg down, bring the left leg down. And just as we did in our Chaturanga video, a few weeks ago, bring the body weight forwards and then allow the body to come all the way down in your Chaturanga. Squeeze the elbows in and then inhale and we lift up into a modified up dog. So here we've got the knees down and we're squeezing the shoulder blades down the back, and then exhale Going to bring the sit bones back, tuck the toes under, and come into our downward dog here. So we've only been doing a half downward dog, but it's exactly the same principle. You want the hands pressing into the mat. You want the biceps rotating out and bring the shoulder blades down the back so you create loads of space around the ears and around the neck. Allow the head to look between the legs, and the heels may not come to the floor, but they're going to work towards that way. But the most important thing is that we're stretching up through the spine, pressing into the hands to get that lift up through the sit bones. And then we're going to exhale, bring the knees down, either opening out the knees here to come down into an extended child's pose, or you can walk the hands forward, come into your puppy pose. Take a few deep breaths here. So just as we did at the start of the class, taking the breath into the back of the body as we come down into child's pose or puppy pose. One more breath. Don't get too comfy. Got to do that again. And then from here, we're going to lift up, back into tabletop, step the left leg up, bend the right leg, and bend the knees. Inhale, come all the way up. We're going to do that again. And we're going to focus on what the shoulders are doing, especially when we come into our chaturanga, because I didn't do that quite as much as I wanted to that first time. So let's do that. We're going to inhale, bend the knees, come up with the hands, extend, bring the shoulder blades down the back, lift the chest. Exhale, bend the knees, bring the hands down, chest onto the thighs. Allow the shoulder blades to round forwards and relax here. Inhale, we're going to take the left leg back, drop that left knee down, take the right knee back to join it, and then we're going to bring our body weight over our hands here, and then we're going to squeeze the elbows in towards the body, and this time don't let your shoulder blades dip down already. So we're going to try and press into the hands to keep that lift in between the center of the shoulder blades, which is what I spoke about earlier in your tabletop pose. So don't allow the shoulders to sink here. Press into the hands, squeeze the elbows in, and then we're going to lower the body down. And then we're going to keep pressing into the hands and come all the way up into a modified up dog. So here we've got the knees down, but we're lifting up through the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades down the back, and take a lot of that weight into the hands. Obviously, if you know this is not good for your wrists, then just skip this one. Exhale, we're going to bring the sit bones back, press into the hands and the feet, and lift up into your down dog. To start with, we'll bend the knees generously, press into the hands, lift up through the spine, shoulder blades rotate down, and then we can start to walk the heels a little and work the heels down towards the ground. Inhale, we'll have a couple more breaths here. And whilst you're still doing your downward dog, I'm just gonna, maybe you should come down out of your downward dog, otherwise you can't see me. But in the downward dog, so come down now onto your hands and knees. In the downward dog, we don't want to have the shoulders up here like this, so up near the ears. We want to rotate the shoulder blades down, and we want to squeeze the first finger and thumb down into the mat. We want to open out through the biceps, and then create loads of space around the neck here. So you've come back down into your tabletop, and we're going to spend 3 nice deep breaths in your child's pose or your puppy pose. Relaxing the arms here, relaxing the shoulders, giving them a rest for a few minutes. So breathing into the back of the body in your child's pose. Great. And then when you've done your 3 breaths, grab your strap or some kind of long material device and make sure it's not got a loop in it like mine. And what we're going to do is we're going to come into cow face arms. I've done this in a kneeling position, but if you're not good on your knees, then just come to the sofa or to a chair. And then from here, we're going to take the strap in our right hand, send the right hand all the way up, and we're going to take the left hand underneath, and we're going to grab the other end of the strap. And from here, we're going to start to walk the fingers together. See if I can show that in a better way. So from here, we're going to start to walk the fingers together so that the right elbow stays up in the air like this, and the left fingertips are moving closer up the back. Can we see this? My strap's getting in the way. That's it. So I'm keeping the strap really nice and taut. Oh, let me show you this properly. That's it. Walking the fingertips closer. Maybe the fingertips will come together. Ooh, I've been practicing. And then want to keep lifting up through the right arm. And you should feel a really juicy stretch here in the triceps. So inhale, keep lifting, lifting, lifting. Smile. And then exhale, release the fingers or release the strap. Discard the strap for a moment and just have a little wiggle with the arms and the shoulders. We're going to do the same on the other side. I'll stay close so that you can see what I'm doing. Try and do this in a better way so you can see me. I'm going to take the left hand all the way up. Woohoo! And then we're going to take the back. We're going to take the strap around the back. And then we're going to sweep the right arm under, grab the strap and start to work the hands closer together. So if you can see, I'm just sweeping my hands up the strap, seeing how far I can get my left hand down the strap and my right hand up the strap. I want to keep that left elbow in the air, but see if you can create space around the neck. So we're not having that left shoulder all the way up towards the ear. Breathe into the chest. Feel that really nice, juicy stretch in that left tricep. And then if that feels awesome, you might be able to bring your fingertips together and notice that on one side you'll be a bit more flexible than the other because of the hand that you write with. Inhale and exhale here. And then we're going to release the arms. Have a bit of a shake. Hopefully that feels nice, but if it doesn't, then I promise you it's doing you some good. And so we should be here on our mats. And what we're going to do is we're going to come up into a little bit of a mini Virabhadrasana 2, so Warrior 2. So you might want to just pad underneath your knees because we're going to be doing it on our knees. But if that's not okay for you, then just do a normal Virabhadrasana 2 where you've got your front foot pointing towards the front of the mat and your back foot the back foot parallel to the back of the mat. So you've got this kind of wide position with your hips here. But for everybody else, we're going to come up into Virabhadrasana 2 from a kneeling position. So we're going to start by facing the side of our mats, like I am. And then we're going to bring the left leg up. And we're going to point the left toes towards the front of the mat. So just as I did when I was in a standing up position, we've got this wide position with our hips. We're not pointing all the way forwards. We're kind of opening the hips here. So check that feels okay for you. If not, walk the toes towards the middle of the mat or towards the side of the mat so that you just have a bit of a less large opening here. Why can't I get my words out today? Anyway, we're going to inhale, lift the hands up. I want you to check that you've got that nice right angle in the knee, that you attended my class last week. And so you're not dipping into that knee here. So we've got the hands up and we're just going to try and squeeze the shoulder blades down the back because as much as we forget about the hands in Virabhadrasana 2, they are really important. The shoulders are really important here. And we're going to just try and create all that lovely juicy space around the neck and take our gaze towards the second finger of our left hand. Take a deep breath here, feel very strong like a warrior. And then we're going to inhale, take the right hand down the leg and take the left hand up. Come into a bit of a stretch here for that left side of the body. And then exhale, we're going to take the left forearm down onto the left thigh. And then inhale, sweep the right arm up. And now we're going to come into a lovely juicy stretch on the right side of our body. Inhale here, take a few nice deep breaths. And on your next exhale, come back into your warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Squeeze the shoulder blades down, back, make that really strong because we're not so much focusing on the legs now. We're down in this kneeling position so we can focus more on our shoulders and our arms here. And then we're going to cartwheel the arms all the way down and spin around on that back leg. Bring the left leg to meet the right. And then I'm going to say to you guys to bring the right foot forward and then spin around on that back leg so that you're now facing the other way. I don't know if that is the best thing to say, but I'm going to turn around anyway so that I'm facing you guys. So this time I've got my left knee down and then I'm opening up to the right side. So I've got my right toes pointing towards that short side of the mat. And from here, I'm going to lift up my arms, come into that strong warrior two pose. If you are now facing away from me, I'm really sorry, you can turn around if you want. And just as long as you're doing the exact same thing on the other side. Inhale and exhale here. Take the gaze towards the middle finger of the right hand, squeezing those shoulder blades down so that you're really lengthening and lifting through the spine. And then we're going to take the left fingertips down towards the left leg, right fingertips up towards the sky. Feel that nice juicy stretch into the right side of the body. Exhale, bring the right forearm down onto the right leg. And inhale, sweep the left arm up like a little ballerina. And then we're going to stretch into the left side of the body. You may want to look up towards that left hand. And again, just as we did in our little side stretches before, we're going to open into this part of the body. So that left shoulder, that left collarbone area. And then exhale back down. Come back to our strong warrior two. Bring the gaze towards the middle finger of the right hand and feel really super strong. So we're lifting up through the spine, squeeze the shoulder blades down the back and smile. Inhale and exhale down. And then we're going to bring that right knee back in. And from here, I'm going to bring the hands onto the back, so just above the bum here. And again, and I've said it a million times, I will stop soon. Squeezing the shoulder blades down the back. Just going to do a little mini camel pose here. So camel is usually where you take your heels, but we've not been doing all that much in terms of back bending. So I'm going to take a very gentle one here. If you know you can reach your heels and that's fine, then please do that. Try and keep the tailbone tucking under and engage the belly muscles here. Lift the chest up, continue to breathe into your camel pose. And then exhale, we're going to come back down into child's pose or puppy pose. So you choose. Back down, super duper chilled now. So we're starting to work our way towards our relaxation. So come down into your child's pose. Maybe turn off some lights when you've had a little breather in child's pose, like this. And then grab anything that you might want for your Shavasana, and we'll just do a little bit of rocking and rolling before we come down into that. So you might want your socks, you might want your jacket. Remember that Shavasana is the most important part of our yoga practice because we integrate everything we've done and we give our body the time to relax and just absorb all the movements that it's been doing. We give our breath time to settle, and we kind of come back to that equilibrium where we should be after a busy day. So come down onto the mat. You can grab a blanket or something to place over you. Grab a drink of water if you wish. And just get yourself really nice and comfy on your mat. I'm going to have a little drink. And then we're going to just come into that comfortable Shavasana pose. So remember at the beginning I said that the Shavasana pose is your pose. It's your time to chill. So if you've got cushions, blankets, bolsters, anything like that, and you want to come into completely lying down pose, or you want to be supported by the bolsters, that's up to you. You might have the soles of the feet on the mat with your knees up. You might choose to just completely let your legs fall out long with the toes and the feet falling out to the sides. And then you might have the backs of your hands on the mat. But just as long as you're in a position that feels really nice and comfy for you. Begin to close the eyes here if that feels nice. Allow the breath to settle back to its natural state, to its natural rhythm. And with every exhalation, allow the muscles of the body to release any tension, and particularly the muscles of the face and the jaw. Just allow everything to completely relax. Feel supported by the mat and by the earth beneath you. So with your face and with your jaw relaxed, see if you can feel the back of the head as it rests and presses into the mat. See if you can allow your shoulders to relax, the upper back to completely relax here. You can wiggle your shoulders if you feel like you just need to get comfy. And then just noticing that point on the upper back that comes into contact with the mat. And feel like the mat is really holding you here and helping you to relax and release all the tension. And bringing your attention now to the back of the pelvis, so just above the glute muscles. And just notice those points on the back of the pelvis that are in contact with the mat. Now noticing the glute muscles, and if you do a lot of either walking, running, or just general exercise, you might find you're holding tension here. So you might want to squeeze those bum muscles and then just allow them to relax completely. Again, noticing where the mat is supporting you here. And then taking your attention to the back of the thighs, the back of the calf muscles. And just noticing where Your legs are touching the mat and being held by the earth beneath you. And then finally, thinking about the heels of the feet, how they're completely relaxing down into the mat. Take a few moments to really notice every single point down along the body that is relaxing and being held by the mat and by the earth beneath you. And then either you can stay here, stay in your Shavasana for as long as you need, or you can begin to wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, maybe circling the wrists and the ankles. And then you might want to roll onto your right side. I'm going to come to my left so that I can see you all. Removing my blanket and just spending a moment on the left side, just setting your intention to carry something of the class with you. So whether that's a feeling that you've managed to create here, like a nice feeling of calm, or an intention that you set yourself, just take a moment to think about that and to bring that with you into your evening. Pressing into the mat with your right hand, with your left hand, and then coming all the way up really nice and slowly, coming up to a seated position or staying in your Shavasana, as I said. And just want to say a huge thank you to everybody for joining me today. It's been really lovely. Hope you like the new layout. It's so much fun. And just to say once more, a huge thank you to everybody who has paid a suggested amount for the class, because like I said, half of it will be going to our local hospice here, and it really is helping the staff to care for the patients and the families there. So thank you. And I'll see you again here next week. Don't forget to subscribe if you enjoyed it, and then you'll get a little alert when I'm live. So thank you, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.